Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Zahira binti Zainal Ipin 11A2057. Today I would like to present about individual assignment of pejuang saham Slim Sunway Berhad. Slim is a stock screening strategy that was designed by William J. O'Neill, the founder of Investors Business Daily. This strategy utilizes both technical and fundamental analysis in determining the right stocks to invest in. The first criteria is current earnings. To get the current earnings, we must divide the net profit by the number of outstanding shares. The companies must show an at least 18 to 20% rise in the current quarterly earnings per share over the same quarter of the previous year. Based on the figure, Sunway has recorded a net profit of 58.4 million ringgit in the first quarter 2021. The declining of net profit in the first quarter 2021 was about 70%. However, the revenue for this quarter increased 4.7% from 971.4 million ringgit to 1.02 billion ringgit due to higher contributions from most business segments except property development and property investment segments. The EPS decreased to 1.01 cent in the first quarter 2021 compared to 1.35 cent in first quarter 2022. Sunway recorded a lower revenue of 556.6 million in the second quarter 2020 compared to 1.077 billion ringgit in the same quarter for the previous year. This resulted a lower EPS of negative 0.34 cent for the second quarter 2020 compared with 4.72 cent for the second quarter 2019. Second criteria is annual earning growth. We should look for high growth stocks that increase their annual earnings over the past few years. According to the Slim method, it requires ROE to be greater than 70%. By looking at annual earnings growth and ROE, you can understand whether the company has been profitable in recent years and whether or not this growth has benefited shareholders. Sunway has been making profits from 2016 to 2019 consistently. Revenue for year 2018 to 2020 is seen to decline slightly, while the company's profit margins are also declined until the end of 2020. EPS value of Sunway declined from 2019 to 2020. Sunway has proposed its EPS of 7.27 cents for the year 2020, down 50% from 14.64 cents it paid for the year 2019. Sunway managed to maintain a net income of over 100 million ringgit and above from 2012 to 2020. In 2020, Sunway company's net profit declined 48% from 397.5 million ringgit from 766.63 million ringgit in 2019, with annual revenue decreased 20% to 3.83 billion ringgit from 4.78 billion ringgit. The next criteria is new product, new management, or news. According to O'Neill, the company needs something new to drive the sort of growth that Slim companies require. New may mean something different, which may be an open criterion for most interpretation. Based on the Bursa Marketplace news on 25 May 2021, Sunway's net profit for the first quarter of 2021 is 6.3% to 58.5 million ringgit from 62.4 million ringgit the previous year. Sunway's revenue in the same quarter increased 4.7% to 1.02 billion ringgit from 971.4 million ringgit due to higher contributions from most business segments except property development and property investment segment. This news is considered as bad news since the financial performance of Sunway's business segment is impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Next criteria is supply and demand. When demand is greater than supply, prices will go up, and when demand is lower than supply, prices will go down. Supply and demand is referred to as a desire to purchase a stock related to available stock shares. Based on the graph, the highest volume of Sunway is on 27 May 2021, which is in a red color histogram with the amount of 23.7 million. So we can conclude that Sunway has a high volume of supply since the highest volume is illustrated in red histogram. The price on this date is 1.33 ringgit. Next criteria is leader or laggard. For leader, a company that is a leader in its industry must have some significant competitive advantages, whether in terms of product, service quality, or price. O'Neill kindly recommends looking for companies whose stock prices are higher than those of competitors, even higher than 80% of the stock market. For laggard, a laggard is a stock or security that underperforms in comparison to its benchmarks or peers. In comparison to the market, a laggard will have a lower than average returns, and the opposite of a leader is a laggard. Based on the chart, the blue line represents Sunway and the orange line represents Masing. As you can see on the chart, Sunway is moving ahead of Masing company. This means that the movement of Sunway's stock price is higher than Masing, and I can conclude that Sunway is a leader for the property sector. Next criteria is institutional investors. According to O'Neill, the company must have a sufficient number of shareholders who are some kind of institutional investor sponsorship. Institutional means the presence of institutional investors, regardless of whether they are local or foreign institutions. From the top 10 shareholders list, one of them are foreign institutional, which is Citibank New York, and two of them are individual investors, which are J.R. Fort Lin and Kim Sua. The number of shares for Sunway is 4,933 million, and the adjusted float is 31.3%. Basically, it shows that Sunway is held by many institutional investors since this company has a small float. The float of a company is significant to investors because it indicates how many shares are available for general public buying and selling. Next criteria is market direction. The market direction is determined by reviewing market average daily, and the market average also measures the overall price level of a given market as defined by a specified group of stocks. Here, I use moving average indicator to see the market trend of Sunway. According to this classification, the short term can be either 3, 4, or 5 days depending on what you are used to. Now we can see that the curve of MA5 is in purple color, MA20 in orange color, and MA60 in green color. Basically, when the moving average is declining, the price is also moving below the moving average. Generally, based on the curve, it can be said that the moving average of Sunway is falling from 1.65 ringgit at MA60 until 1.62 ringgit at MA5. The volume of moving average for Sunway is also declined to 3.4 million at VMA5 from 4.8 million at VMA20. This continuous movement of price in the downward direction indicates that the company has a downtrend moving average. In conclusion, the canceling method is a very useful investment strategy that can help investors identify stocks with high growth potential. That's all from me. Thank you.